Nigeria is at a crossroad, and this is the season patriots rise to save the country. These are times statesmen rise above ethnic, religious, tribal, and political lines, and indeed above all personal interests, and take decisions in the interests of the country. Once again, we appreciate you for your short response. Earlier in the week, the CBN released more details of their statutory control of the economy by limiting the cash in circulation. While the release of these policy details was greeted with widespread acceptance all over the nation, we are saddened the House of Representatives, which ordinarily ought to be the representative of the people, have purportedly passed a resolution to oppose this people-oriented policy. Gentlemen, the CBN had announced a change to 1,000 naira, 500 and 200 naira denominations. They had also given timelines within which to effect the changes. And appreciably, the timelines took into consideration all segments of the citizenry and their peculiarities. Furthermore, the CBN had clearly stated to Nigerians the anticipated benefits of this policy. Part of the final details of the CBN policy is to control the volume of cash in circulation. And to achieve this, the APS Bank announced a cash withdrawal limit, that is for individuals, are allowed 20,000 naira daily and 100,000 naira weekly limits through any of the ATM, POS, or over-the-counter withdrawals. However, any volume above these limits would require payment of handling charges of 5%. We have, however, uncovered a well-oiled plot to discredit the cash withdrawal limit by politicians with stolen funds in their possession. These unscrupulous politicians are plotting to attack and undermine President Muhammadu Buhari and the government's policy on cash withdrawal limits. Information at our disposal is that these enemies of states have pulled over $5 million with which they hope to launch an onslaught against the policy beginning from next week. Their attacks will include coordinated media manipulations, interviews, columns, articles, op-ed and adverts. They will also hire and create several faceless groups to purport to hold rallies and protest for a fee. And they will access media briefings, and they will address media briefings and render false statistics in order to sway the minds of the people. The media must be wary. They have also set out to see that any known group they can convince to join their evil plot is achieved. Groups like the National Youth Council of Nigeria, the National Association of Nigerian Students, some labor unions, and faith-based organizations, and the rest. They are really out to pull down the country instead of seeing it work. Dear Nigerians, it is with a heavy heart that we announce that these men already have an ally in Speaker Gbajabiamilia of the House of Representatives, and he and his caucus in the House have disappointingly joined hands to ensure that for primordial political and pecuniary interests, a policy which will really benefit our country is skewed. It was in furtherance of this plot that alliance with anti-people politicians, Gbajabiamilia, stirred the House on Thursday to resolve to oppose the cash withdrawal policy, even without an engagement with the central bank, or without hearing from the bank, or asking the bank for answers to their fears. Nigerians will recall there are surreptitious move by the Speaker of the House in sponsoring an amendment to the Currency Decimal Act and the CBN, all in a bid to stop the Naira redesign policy. At the least, the resolution of the House of Representatives could be called illegal, abuse of office, and the height of legislative rascality. How could one use public office specifically to work against the people who elect him into such office? This calls for a thorough investigation into the mandates on which these men are standing. Because if they are not afraid of the people who are expected to vote them back into office, then they know they do not rely on the votes of the people to get into office. It was on this basis that our affiliate member, the Withdrawal Youth Movement, has disowned the Speaker and questioned his true heritage on the basis that it was not Yoruba-like for a man to cut his nose just to spite his face. We therefore challenge all men of goodwill to engage the phone and constituency offices of the Speaker and his known allies to back off from this agenda. We also call on all patriotic House members to withdraw any form of allegiance they have to the Speaker and stand against them, to ride against this Gagaland he has commenced. We therefore call on patriotic members of the House and all loyalists of the President, Muhammadu Buhari, who are in the majority in the House, to commence immediate impeachment proceedings against the Speaker for abusing his office and endangering the life of Nigeria and our collective national security. Gentlemen, if we may ask, does Gbajabiamilia not know that the volume of cash in circulation is too much and has occasioned inflation? Does the Speaker not know that kidnappers and bandits demand huge sums because they can easily access these sums? Does the Speaker not know that vote buyers and election riggers will be put out to business for next year's general election if this policy is not implemented? Does the Speaker not know that when the oil subsidy is withdrawn next year, government will have more funds, and if this policy were not on ground, corrupt people will loot money? Does the Speaker not know that going by majorly through electronic means will help our anti-corruption agencies to follow the money? These questions and several other questions are one too many to ask. Yet, the Speaker is blindly leading our country down the abyss. It has become obvious that the Speaker of the House of Representatives is unfit to continue in office as the Speaker for abuse of office and risking the future of our great country on the altar of pecuniary and pseudo-political benefits. Let us, again, make this unambiguous and crystal clear. The Ethnic Youth Leaders Council of Nigeria, after a widespread consultation with our people, are in support of the Naira redesign policy and the cash withdrawal limit policy of the CBN. And we endorse him wholly and entirely. We shall not pursue the interest of vote buyers and treasury looters like the Speaker is doing. For us, it is Nigeria first and always. Corruption merchants are the ones who are fighting against this policy, and this must be made vivid. We also commend the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, on his economic breakthrough policy and urge him to stand firm against these enemies who cannot come out before the Nigerian people to defend their actions. We therefore call on the Speaker to retrace his steps now before he pushes Nigeria over the cliff and reverse the resolution made yesterday by the House. Concludingly, we wish to hail President Muhammadu Buhari for restating his unflinching support to the Central Bank of Nigeria's policy, as that is what is expected of a president who wants to leave a worthy legacy.